All right, President Trump striking a deal with Democratic leaders against Republican objections on a 3-month extension for funding the government and raising the debt ceiling. Now, Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell says he is on board as well.
His feeling was that we needed to come together to not create a picture of divisiveness at a time of genuine national crisis. I'll be supporting it.
All right, but Speaker Paul Ryan had some harsh words for the Democrats' plan just before the meeting with the president took place.
I think that's ridiculous and disgraceful that they want to play politics with the debt ceiling at this moment when we have fellow citizens in need to respond to these hurricanes so that we do not strand them.
All right, here now is Republican Congressman Jason Lewis. He is from Minnesota. He is a member of the House Budget Committee. There are a lot of ways to interpret what went on today. It could be a clearing of the decks for tax reform, an opportunity, a kumbaya moment for it to look like peace and love is breaking out all over Washington. Tell us what's really going on.
Well, I think they cut a deal to move this back, but I tell you, there's a lot of conservatives, some budget hawks on the Budget Committee and elsewhere that want something in exchange for a clean debt ceiling hike. We're in a $20 trillion debt crisis, so if that means getting economic growth going through tax reform, if that means something like the old Boehner rule, trying to get spending reductions in exchange for a debt ceiling hike, then I think we need to do something like that. This perhaps gives us some time to get that.
Okay, so do you think, I mean, in piecing through what you just said there, you know, could this be the beginning of a deal for tax reform in that he's giving them this, they're going to help on the tax reform? What do you think?
Well, I wouldn't be too sure of that. I'll be blunt with you. The Democrats haven't been helping on much with regard to governing. Health care was a good example of that. They said they weren't going to help at all because of partisan politics, and that was a shame.
Kumbaya. It's a new day. Everyone's happy. There's a national disaster out there. We're going to all pull together.
Right. And I'm from the IRS, and I'm here to help you.
Oh.
We can go down that road, but sometimes you got to push some stuff through. I think the Democrats will eventually come on board with tax reform when they see the C Corp rate going from 35 or 39 in some states down to 25, down to 20, the pass-through rate going from 39.6 down to 15 or 20. There are going to be a lot of Democratic businessmen and women telling their Democrat leaders to get on board, but it won't be because they want to help Republicans.
So, Congressman, you bring up a very interesting point. Because we have been saying here for a long time that the Democrats have become the party of the 1%. And it is, in fact, that big corporate tax cut, those CEOs, they are Democrats. And they say they want to pay more tax, but when push comes to shove, paying more tax doesn't make sense for the company that you're the CEO of. I mean, is there a chance that there are Democrats that want to lower corporate taxes, even though that's the opposite of what their public talking points are?
It isn't, Melissa, it isn't about paying more taxes. It's getting more people with skin in the game at lower rates. Right now we have a system of very, very high rates, but a few lucky duckies get out from underpaying anything at all. Personally, I think carried interest for hedge fund managers is a commission, not a capital gain. You take away some of these loopholes, these deductions, you get lower rates at a broader base.
You're preaching to the choir, my friend. I'm just saying, do you think that the Democrats, well, can they get right with this idea of lowering corporate taxes? They always say, you know, the talking point on the Democratic side is always, oh, you're giving tax cuts to your rich buddies who run corporations. Why do we want corporations not to pay taxes? And you make a great case for why they shouldn't, but can Democrats get behind that? Do they have enough of their constituents who want the tax breaks?
I think so. I think when Democratic businessmen and women, small businessmen and women on the pass-through side, the larger corporations, as you mentioned, see those rates coming down, I think they're going to force the Democrat leadership hand on this. Remember, you've got $2.6, $3 trillion, we really don't know, $3.5 trillion sitting offshore, ready to come home for an infrastructure project that Democrats like. I think the politics will make the day eventually on this, but I don't think the Democrats are eager to help us. No, I don't.
That's an interesting link you just made, and I'm not going to forget that, the money coming home for infrastructure projects. Exactly. Interesting. Congressman, thank you. Good stuff. Appreciate your time.